For them, even for them, they told me, you are part of Origen, and without you, it wouldn't make sense. And I want to keep it the same. I don't want the fans to feel like, yes, it's going to be different, but different for the better, right?
Hello everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller, and on the very first day that I went to LCS in January 2017, I accidentally went through the backstage area, which was okay given that I was press and stuff, and then the press person from Riot came along and was like, yeah, okay, just follow me, I'll have to handle this guy, and then we'll talk in a second. And I literally spent like my first few minutes at LCS walking behind you, and I was like, oh my god, that's xPeke and everything. And now, almost 2 years later, we're sitting together to do this interview. So for me, this is kind of like going full circle.
That's true. Finally, after, like the first time you asked me for an interview, I think it was like 1 year ago or something like that. Yeah,
like you masters.
Yeah, you masters. And it was so long ago, but we didn't really meet at any event. So finally we get it at LEC.
Yeah, at LEC. I mean, congratulations on getting in. But first of all, how have like the last year in particular been like for you? I mean, you made the stunt at EU Masters and it was a successful one, but after that, stuff about Origen kind of died down again, and then boom, you're in LEC. So like, what was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough. I mean, the last couple of years were a bit rough because I was never completely sure of what was going to happen. Like, I was always trying to look for some partner or for someone to go with or that could help Origen enter the LCS at that time, LEC now, because that was the goal always for me. And during the beginning of the year, we had the intention of trying to get into the LEC as soon as possible. That's why we made that European Masters team, because we wanted to show Riot that we were a big brand and that we could actually move numbers. But then again, it didn't happen with the partners I had at that time, because you cannot predict what's going to happen in the long term. But luckily, I got to talk with the guys from Refresh, and they told me that they could be interested in talking about a partnership or doing something together with the Origen brand. And we were discussing, I don't know, maybe for like a month, back and forth, trying to figure out how it could work out. And we came to an agreement. They passed the test of Riot, then they got accepted to do the interviews and everything. And then they just had to ask Riot if it was possible to use to use Origen or not, because they were never going to use Astralis anyway, they said already. So they wanted a new name. So it fit perfectly for them. Okay, so we can use Origen, which is also like a team that is created by a player, more for the players, kind of like Astralis was. So they could do exactly what they did in Astralis with Origen.
So it was a match made in heaven, essentially.
Yeah, it was really great and smooth, because I mean, I was looking for exactly for that, for someone, a partner that could especially help build Origen and make it be a top team in terms of business-wise and structure. And when I came here the first time and I saw the offices, it was like, yeah, this is exactly what I have been dreaming of for Origen.
So, like, what were some of the first steps when you first initiated, like, the partnership? Or which people were, like, on your list and I want to work with these people? What was your process like that?
Thing is, at first, I thought it would be harder to get a roster, because we start with the disadvantage that most of the teams that are already in have a roster log, or they already have players that they have talked to for some time. So I thought that the new teams coming in will have a much harder time, because we will not be able to reach out. Maybe the talent will be signed before we even talk to them, right? But I was happy to hear that Martin was here as well, because the physio is a face I know for a long time. He even used to play at some point against me, like long time ago. And I mean, he did a great job also trying to approach the players and actually getting in contact with them. And I was really happy when I saw the lineup, because I didn't expect to. We were thinking about maybe going for rookie approach, maybe for veteran, or a mixture of both. And when I saw we have people like Alfari and Nuke, though, they have been like doing consistently good. I mean, even Mithi, even if he had a rough year at TSM, and I know he's really good, and when he's motivated, will do great. And then Colt and Serif, which are maybe Colt played really good, but he just maybe had a weaker year as well in Unicorns of Love. But I feel like he brings a lot in terms of personality to the team, which is nice. And then there is Serif, their next promise rookie star, that hopefully will do good. I think he will do great, because mechanic-wise, he has been on point during all the scrims and everything. So it will be about his develop in the team pretty much.
So everything's been working out all of a sudden for like within the last few months. Everything turned around and everything's working. You must be like on cloud nine. Not the team, of course.
Like you say, full circle. It's like back to the beginning. Everything works out again.
Back to the origin.
Back to the Origen.
Boom. Let's just make a video series about that and like call it back to the origin. Yeah. So like what's kind of like the next steps for Origen and you in particular?
I think it's gonna be more about establishing the structure and the company culture, right? Because right now, even though Origen existed for, I think it's 4 years now, exactly 4 years now, kind of, in December of 2014. And even though Origen existed and Refresh existed, we still had to figure out how Origen will work in the long term, right? We are testing out this office space, we are testing out living in Copenhagen, and everything is new, so we have to see when LEC start, and I think that's what we are all looking most forward. LEC start, see how the players do, see how our first performances, and especially try to do more things with Origen, with the community as well. Because I mean, we have always tried to be, we're really famous, especially because of how close we were with the community, and because I mean I have been for 7 years in League of Legends now, so I think it will be really nice, at least from my point of view, to be one of the teams that engage the most with the community. So I think that for me personally, I think that will be what I look forward to during the next year.
Lots of social content on that. And I mean, like, Origen still is one of the teams with one of the most or highest follower accounts on Twitter, which is, phenomenal given that the team has been a thing for a long time,
Yeah, I mean, it's just, in the end, it's a cool story. I think you need different stories because you need like a good team, a bad team. You need everything, right? You cannot have 9 teams or 10 teams that are the same. So I think the fact that we just came out of nowhere and became like semi-finalists at Worlds made us this big, then disappear, then reappear. I think all this thing kind of gives some story because some of the fans, even during this year, right? After European Master that we went quiet again, no one knew exactly what was happening because I couldn't really say anything because I didn't know either, and we couldn't really say what was going on. But I still have fans just messaging me, like, I believe in you, I can't wait for the news. Every day, getting this message, like, every day I wake up thinking I'm gonna read some news. So it's just crazy because I don't think many teams can have fans that will support them without existing, pretty much, without competing in any league. So.
Yeah, I mean, some dedicated fans there as well. Like, I know some of the people in my mentions that, like, still have the Origen icon from 2015 and stuff, like, as their Twitter profile pic and stuff like that. It's like, it's actually insane in that regard. And I remember, like, I speak a lot with, like, Fernando Cadente, who's a very popular Spanish journalist. Yeah. And at first, it didn't look like you guys were going to make it to LEC. And then first rumors, like, kind of popped up, and then he was like, nah, it's unreasonable. And he, like, got a ton of hate, like, how could you say that? I want my Origen back and stuff. It's just incredible. So yeah, lots of community interaction, and your personal role is gonna be traveling and talking with brands and establishing the brand.
Yeah, it's gonna be more like that. Also, we have been discussing maybe like helping the team brand as well in general, like what guide to follow, right? Because they are not sure. I mean, Origen is already established brand, so it will be a bit weird to completely change the direction of it, like suddenly make it more like a professional company, or when Origen should still have its style. So I think I'm also going to be helping the team with that when it comes to content, when it comes to social media, how it works and everything, just giving advice of how I have done it for the last year, because I think it's important for Refresh. It's important that I'm here mostly to keep the Origen, because even for them, they told me, you are part of Origen, and without you, it wouldn't make sense. And I want to keep it the same. I don't want the fans to feel like, yes, it's going to be different, but different for the better, right? Mm-hmm. It's still going to be the same Origen, plus a good structure behind it. That's what I want.
Yeah, essentially the best of both worlds, of both Origen and Refresh. So can we expect like a video series, or are there like any plans that you can at least hint towards, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, ideally we will do, we're still figuring out how to do it. A lot of people ask for the behind the scenes stuff that we used to do. I think it will be cool to do, and we will do something similar. I don't know if it will be like a regular weekly show, because it's also weekly show is always the same, but I would like to do something more different with the players, maybe so people get to know them. I mean, people know me already enough, so there is no point of seeing me shirtless anymore or seeing me eating a kebab. Maybe someone likes it, but
There's enough of that.
There's enough of that. So maybe getting the players some spot as well and doing stuff with them, even if it's just going to the city, see it.
Just get them shirtless as well, basically.
Yeah, maybe try it. If they're comfortable with it. I think there is never enough of that.
Yeah, amazing brand building. It's so funny as well because like on the Twitter GIFs, I always feel like there are certain areas that are underappreciated by teams and players and stuff. Like if you go on Twitter and go in the GIF section, you find GIFs of like Forgiven, You, and Reckless, and like other players you don't really find GIFs. On Instagram, you barely have like any teams caring about the stickers and that kind of stuff. And I feel like there's just so much space where you could just spam stuff in there and like you give your fans so much stuff to work with.
That's true. I mean, like even the physio, someone made this the physio post where he has like 9 faces, like when he was getting burned. So I think every player should have that, like a meme card.
Yeah.
So people can just go take one, take another one.
Yeah,
I think that's great, and that's true for Instagram. No one uses it, and the stickers are super fun because you don't even need to think what to write. It's for a sticker.
Yeah, like because I know my favorite football team uses them. Like my favorite football team is not rich or anything. We don't have oil money or anything, so it's like we don't have money, but we still do that. That's very important in terms of brand building. So yeah, like of course professional success is on the horizon, or at least like that's the expectations of the team and everything. And then having a close knit community. Are there like any other goals or like any other areas you really want to work in the next few years, or what do you see you and yourself in Origen in like 3 years maybe?
Yeah, it will be more about like figuring out right exactly what is near or what is not, because right now what I want is for Origen to grow the most as possible, and I want to help especially with the brand stuff, which is what I have been doing, but especially I would also like to learn from the people that surround me, because I never really had the chance to have someone that is like could be like a mentor or that knows how to do business. And I think for me personally, if what you were asking, it will be really beneficial, and I would love to just learn from these guys, like because I feel it's like better than a university, like I'm getting pretty much free classes here to learn from people that is already in business for 20 and 30 years and things like this.
Applied business, not just theoretical.
Yeah, applied business. I can see a life, It's much better than reading a book.
Yeah, and it's like when stuff goes bad, you need to fix it and that kind of stuff, because it's not just a bad grade, it's like actual business in that regard. But yeah, like Origen, the return and everything, it's so interesting. Does it though, or does the new Origen kind of mark the new era of like not just League of Legends but eSports as a whole? Kind of like old Origen was still player driven and you doing a lot of the legwork and that kind of stuff, and now you have a big company behind it and business people and stuff. Is that kind of the future of esports and stuff?
I think so. I think it is the future. You have to have both things, right? For example, closer to the team, we have Andre, we have Fabian, we also have the performance team with Casper, Lars as well, that already gave them the introduction at the ship. And I think it's really important that the players are still the same and they have everything around them, and then you have the business guys that who runs the deals, who do all this stuff. So I think it's gonna be. I think some teams are probably doing it already, and I think it's gonna be the future for most brands, because it's getting so big that it's getting to a point that you have to have as much professionalism as you can around the team. Now, one thing is the players, and another thing should be the business.
Are you worried though? Like, I mean, you personally also grew through those like shirtless Twitch moments and stuff like that. Do you sometimes worry that, hey, players nowadays, due to the enhanced professionalism, can't really do that anymore? Is that something we need to be worried about as fans?
No, I think that it's up to the players, because it's just however they want to portray themselves, right? It's like in any other sports, they are professional, but you still have this kind of player that is famous for partying every day, and so someone that is famous for showing up late, like someone recently that got fined, Barcelona player, I think, for partying until 6 a.m. the day before a practice, Then you have some guys that just like to make fun on interviews, and I think it's just important that everyone kind of accept that, it doesn't really matter how professional you are. You can still be yourself on interviews, as long as you are not an asshole or you're respectful to other people, then it's fine. Just have fun. And I think that's something that every should try to put that in every player mind, that they are not here only to work and to be professional and to be robots, as the Koreans. That's what they're for. That they're also here to have fun and enjoy their time here.
I really agree with that, and I hope it keeps that way, that we can still have fun stuff and fun banter and shocks fight and all that kind of stuff. All this still happening.
That's the best. I mean, it's a show after all, It's, you have the games, you have the show. It's both things.
It's the best of both worlds in that regard. Because I love football, but when I watch football interviews, it's like, okay, right, we want to perform better, we want to train hard, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's true. There is this guy, maybe you don't know because he's Spanish, Joaquin.
No.
Okay, so he's
a player?
A player from football. He used to play in Betis for a long time. Okay. Then he moved to Valencia. Then he moved, I don't know if it was to Italy or somewhere. But he was really funny because he's kind of a joker. And on interviews, he's never serious. Okay. And once they were asking him something in Italian, I think it was. He doesn't speak any Italian. And he started to answer pretending to speak Italian. Like, literally, he wouldn't get a word right. He was like, vi scusi molto, toto hapironio, something like this on the interview. And the interviewer was just like, what is he saying, Is he speaking Spanish or something, maybe? And they let him go for like half a minute. So you have, but it's rare. But you do have these kind of personalities.
Okay, I mean, you do for sure. But like, they're so rare in football, and I hope that it stays this way. That we can have multiple of those in esports, and we can continue to have those.
I mean, that would be ideal. That people just open up and don't care about it, and just act however they want, be themselves, have fun on interviews, and do weird things.
I think that's the perfect answer for sure, and the perfect time to finish or to wrap things up. Anything you want to say to your fans and the Origen fans who've been waiting for so long for everything?
Yeah, I mean, just a huge thank you, like I said before, for this year that you have supported us in the good times and the bad times, especially the bad times, right? Because in the good times it's easier to support. But yeah, it's unbelievable that during this whole year, or the past 2 years mostly, that there have been people sending me messages, and I really appreciate that you guys supported it, even when I was not sure what I wanted to do. So thank you very much.
Amazing support. Now, at the end of each interview, we let the interviewee to do a hashtag. So everyone that watched until the end who's a dedicated fan can put the hashtag in the comments, so both of us know who the dedicated fans are.
I didn't think about a hashtag. I don't know. Hashtag...
When does Origen play?
Hashtag when does Origen play? No, that's too used already. Hashtag xPeke shirtless.
Okay, yeah.
That's an old one, for the true fans from the Fnatic times. That was a hashtag at a time. We had it like in season 3 or season 4.
Yeah, like old times.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So we will see who saw the interview entirely.
Hashtag xPeke shirtless. Let's make that happen. Of course, make sure to like and subscribe for more LEC content. We have amazing stuff coming up. And again, thank you so much for your time, xPeke. Really enjoyed it. And thank you very much for watching. This was Darius from the Shotcaller. Hope you had a good day. Bye-bye.
We'd especially like to thank Krzysztof Buchnevich for his support, and if you too would like to support our work, make sure to check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/theshotcallergg. We very much appreciate your support. Thank you.